Hello everyone, welcome once again to another Power BI tutorial by SlideScope. In this part, we are learning about production working hours analysis dashboard. We have multiple metrics like allocated budget, amount earned, division, city, overtime by employee, overtime amount and hours, unworked amount and unworked hours, planned hours. We will learn how to calculate the shortfall amount using DAX query, how to create a calculated column for shortfall amount. So these type of things are there, and we are going to use some of these metrics to bring or build a chart like this, where we'll find how many total employees are there, male, female, total worked hours, shortfall hours, overtime hours. We will use these simple filters like to see city-wise performance, to see division-wise performance. You will see how to do that. Earning and budget by city, division by distribution of work, top 5 employees by work. We just used a line chart here. You can use any other type of chart, for example, a clustered column or a simple stacked column chart. So all of this is step by step we are going to learn in this tutorial. So let's get started with it. So for this project, the data set that we are using is production working hours.csv file. I will provide a link to this file. Here we have ID of every employee, employee name, their job title, city in which they reside, gender, division, start date, end date. So what are the meaning of these different columns? Is something that we can get from here. So here city, gender, division, you can understand the department where employee works like photography, film production. Then for work duration and rate, we have a start date, end date, the start date of work period, end date of work period, and the hourly rate, the amount the employee is paid on per hour basis. Working hours, planned hours, the total number of working hours assigned to the employee, worked hours, the actual number of hours the employee worked, and allocated budget, the estimated budget of the employee work. So allocated budget can be planned hours into hourly rate, and amount earned, the total amount the employee actually earned calculated at total number of worked hours into hourly rate. Similarly, we have unworked and overtime details like unworked hours, the difference between planned and worked hours. If worked hours are less, an unworked amount, the earning lost due to unworked hours, which is calculated with this formula. Then there are overtime hours. So this is something that we are going to use. Here you can see we have some categorical values like job title, city, gender, division. We have date related column, and we have some continuous variables like planned hours, working hours, and allocated budget, etc. And we have values like hourly rate. So this makes a great data set for learning purpose, understanding how to do exploratory analysis here, and this will be helpful for beginners who are trying to learn data analysis. And we will try to explain different insights also, like whatever insights we will get from the analysis. To start analyzing the data, we will simply open Power BI desktop and connect the CSV file. To start analysis, we have downloaded some icons from Icon Finder website. So we are going to use these icons in our report as well. And now let's open Power BI, and from here we will get data and connect the CSV file. After connecting the CSV file, make sure ID, employee name, job title, every column and every column value are matching properly. If not, you can go ahead and clean the data and transform data. Otherwise, you can simply load it. After opening Power BI, we will simply click on text box here and paste our analysis title, that is production working hour analysis dashboard. If you want, you can paste anything else, but since this is production working hour analysis dashboard, we are pasting this. After pasting our heading, make it bold, align it to center. You can select a different font size and font color for it. So we will be selecting a blue font color here. You can select anything, and here we are going to increase the font size to around 32 pixel, and we will keep it like this, and we will align it to center here, so that we can make a space for some logo here. Here the one thing that we are going to do, we can simply go to effects and enable some shadow here. From insert tab we can click on image and insert some images here for reference and analysis purpose. So you can see here are the images, and we are going to use them in different places. If you want, you can select all of them, but we'll do it one by one, and just an image representing some production. Obviously, as per your business type, you can choose a business logo also. So we are doing something similar here, and in a style, actually in action, we will enable effect and enable shadow for this image as well, and reduce its width a little bit so that there is a gap. This portion is something that we are going to keep for filters as well. So uh, now we have prepared the first part of it, and just an image to show the production icon or whatever you want to show here. Now after creating the dashboard, we will add some KPIs here. To create the KPIs, we will create some shapes, because in these shapes we are going to put, you know, related data. So we are using a shape here, and in the shape we are going to put total number of employees. So in the shape we can go to general, we can enable a title, and in title we can write total employees. So you can do it like that, and here you can bring it to center, bold, and you can select a type of color. Let's select a darker color. So it is showing total employees. In the shape we also have a style where we have a color. So let's select some a very light color, and we already have the border, so it will be okay. Now in total employees, what we are going to do, we are going to insert two images, one for male, one for female, because in the data set we have these two values. So first we'll insert male, female, and we are going to put them here so that below them we can show their respective values. So using the guidelines we will resize them, and so we can put them like this so that we can put their values. So now if you will see the data here, you will find that there is gender, male and female. Now there are different ways of finding out this data, right? One is without writing any DAX query. You can simply take use of filters. So let me show you first that way. Let's add a simple card visual here, and in card visual we will use count gender. Okay, so it will show us 300, which is actually the total number of employees here, and we will add gender to filter here, which is filter on this visual, the selected card visual, and we select only male. So this way we can show that these are male employees, right? And we can go to properties, effect, we can disable background from here, and this way we can display the data. We can go to value and display the value color, something like this, and we can go to call out value and reduce its size to around 35 or 36. So this is one. Similarly we can copy it, paste it here. You can do one more thing, in call out value you can make them bold, similarly here, and here we will apply the filter, gender is female. Okay, and let's say we want to show the total value also somewhere here in between. So total employees we can show from call out value. Uh, that will, let's make it simple. So here we will just remove any filter. So you can see total employees 300, out of them 159 male, 141 female. So this is one way of showing the data. One more thing we can do, we can select all of them and we can simply go to format and group them. When you group them, you can move them together, you know, so it becomes easier for us to reposition, resize them. You can see here. Okay, so this is what we can show here. And in these type of chart, we can disable the category label because we don't want to show any category label for them because we already have the data, right? So after doing all of this, our first card is ready. And since we have disabled the category label, after selecting them, we can simply reposition them. So our total employees card is created. Now we will copy this, and so we will simply copy this card and paste it just besides this card. And here we are going to say we are going to put another KPI measure here. So we can go to format and we can ungroup them because in the second part we don't need all the data. So we will show one icon and uh, one number here. And here the title that we are going to use is total worked hours. To bring total worked hours, we will simply use that worked hour column and bring it to the field. So you will see total worked hours is actually 228.28K. Okay, and here is amount earned. So let's add one image here representing some amount and we will reposition it, and this is total amount earned. Okay, so we will position this and we are going to copy this here. We will obviously reduce the size of it, and here we are going to put total amount earned, which is 17.44 million. So we will simply uh, display the category label here, and call out value is something that we will reduce a little bit so that our display label is also visible. And here we are going to write amount earned. So instead in category label here we can show earned, and we can simply make it bold. So this is total amount earned and total worked hours is displayed on top. Now we can copy this entire thing, paste it here as a group, and so that we can create another chart here. Next is we are trying to calculate shortfall hours, and for calculating shortfall hours, first we will calculate the total planned hours. So total, we are creating a variable here called planned, which will simply select production working hours, planned hours, where production working hours is our table name. So we already have the planned hours here. Okay, and next variable worked is equal to production working hours, which is worked hours, and shortfall hours is only when, so we are returning if worked hours is less than planned hours. Those are actually shortfall hours, right? So in some cases it will be shortfall hours, in some cases it will not be. So here you can see production hours and working hours is there. So in some cases, if worked hours and planned hours have this relation, like worked hours is less than planned hours, then we will calculate planned minus worked. So this will calculate shortfall hours for us. Otherwise, it will return 0. And we will try to create a model here. So in modeling, we will create a new column, and let's try to uh, create that column. So here it is done. Now let's see. Here is the calculated column, which we will see here. So you can see in most of the cases it is 0, but in some cases it is a positive number, because in these cases our condition is not met. Work is less than planned is not met. So if it is not met, 0 will be calculated. So this is going to calculate the shortfall hours for us, and we will simply mention shortfall hours. And here we will add sum of shortfall hours here. Okay, because this is going to be the total shortfall hours. Now let's say because of these shortfall hours, there will be some shortfall amount. Okay, so that amount will be sum x. We are using sum x because we have to consider all rows here, and it will be production working hours. In this table we are applying sum x, and we are in this table the expression that we are using is multiplying the shortfall hours by production hours, which is hourly rate. So there is an hourly rate here, which you can see here. There is a hourly rate. So we have planned hours, worked hours, and we have, because of that, we have some shortfall hours. On the basis of how many shortfall hours do we have, and by multiplying those rows with their hourly rate, we will get a shortfall amount. So this is what we can see here. The only thing that we need to do is change our tables properly, because I was doing a similar thing in Excel, so some names may differ. Now it is okay. So make in SumX you use the first argument as your table name, then in second you can apply your expression. We are simply multiplying two columns here. One is the calculated column shortfall hours, and other is the hourly rate. And we can simply go to modeling, create a new measure, and paste our formula. So we are using SumX here. Let me show you a simple thing. Difference between sum and SumX is, so returns the sum of expression evaluated for each row in table, right? Because we have to evaluate over each row. The first argument is your table, second is your expression. So it is calculated, and now we will simply replace it with shortfall amount. So we have shortfall hours and shortfall amount here. We can also insert some images here to represent this data. Not needed, but let's insert a time value. So this time is basically hours here. Make a copy of it and put it here. So this way we have calculated total number of employees, total worked hours, amount earned, and total shortfall hours and shortfall amount. So we can do one more thing. We can select this also and go to formatting, and we can group it together, and similarly this also, so that if we have to make more space for more visuals, it will be easier. And as we have calculated this by making some space, let's put it together, and we can also find out overtime amount and overtime hours. All I will do is make these headings etc. a little bit smaller. So let me do it by pausing the video. So we will select it. I'm just showing for one. Here we have the category label. We can make it smaller. So the size that is working for us is here in amount we are using 28 size, and here in the category label we are using font size 8. Here we will simply change it to overtime hours because we are creating these groups, so uh, we have to just change it with overtime. So this will be overtime hours and this will be overtime amount. Instead of sum of overtime amount, we'll rename it for simply overtime amount. So now our cards are created, and if you want, obviously you can align them properly so that they align with the value that is given on top of it. And this type of cosmetic styling changes, etc., you can do it as per your liking. So now we have this, and next is we are going to use some filters. So we can see on the total sum of overtime hours is 12.56. Let's say what is average overtime hour. So you can see on an average 78.99 is the average overtime hour. So this is what you can see here. And obviously since everything is in bold font, so we will use this also in bold font. So after doing this, we will use some filters here, and those filters are going to be very much helpful for us because those filters will make the report interactive and will help the analyst, let's say CEO, management team or operations team is going to look at this report. So it will help them in analyzing a lot of data. So the categorical columns are mostly used as filters, and for filter we are going to use a slicer. So let's add slicer here, reposition it like this, and in the slicer we are going to bring the division. So we have divisions like film, production, photography, etc. One thing that I want to try with divisions is I want to see the slicer setting, and here let's say we want to show as a tile. So as a tile it is going to appear like this, okay? And for then it will be good to see the styling. So in slicer setting we have slicer header, which we can customize from here. We can make it bold, okay? We also have border, background, etc. for header. So if you want to choose a different type of background for your header, you can select, let's say, this header, and you can go with some different type of option here. Let's keep it like that. And this is your values. So values also we can make bold and select a font that is properly visible, okay? You also select a dark green color here, just referring. So we can select this dark green color for values, and padding or margin is something that you can do accordingly. So this is our division, and for this entire slicer we can go to general, effect, enable a shadow, enable a visual border. Visual border we can select just what we selected for other chart, and we will just select 12 pixel. So this is our division setting now, and obviously header is not looking good to me, so I will disable header from here and go to general and enable title. From here I will add division as header, and here we have more control over it actually. So we can put it in center, make it bold. So this is division. Similarly we can copy it, and here we can select city. Now city names can be a lot more than this, so let's add city. So we have these cities here. So okay, they are also 5 or 6 different cities with us. So this is division and this is city, and we are going to change the title of it as city only. You can also use drop down here, For example, here in slices setting, you can see drop down with your choice. Let's say we want to see the report for Chicago. In Chicago, we have 51 employees, 21 male, 30 female. Like we have more female there. In Los Angeles, we have more male. And worked hours, shortfall hours, overtime hours, everything in Chicago, Los Angeles is given. Let's say in New York, in photography. So you can see this way you will be able to interactively analyze the data and see performance of your company for different departments for different cities. To clear the filter, we can select them one more time. Now, the next thing that we have to see is division wise work distribution. To see division wise work distribution, we will use a clustered column chart and we will put the column chart here. And in our clustered column chart, we are going to create a simple, categorical data here. So in x-axis, we are going to bring division. So this is division here, and on y-axis we will bring the work distribution matrix, which is simply planned hours and worked hours. So here we have the planned hours, and here from here we can bring the worked hours. There is one more thing. Obviously we have selected four metrics here. If you want, you can always include these things like unworked amount and unworked hours here as well. Like this is the important metric. Just for the sake of analysis, we are doing it like this at this moment. So this is you can do. And here you can see in the cluster chart, this is sum of planned hours, sum of worked hours. One thing that we can do is in legends, first of all, we can position them to bottom center. Now, this is something that we can change. This is distribution of work. So this is division wise distribution of work. Let's change this division wise distribution of work. And whatever heading you want to give, we will simply make it bold and choose a font color like this. Align it to center. If you want, you can increase its size also. And to our entire chart, we can go to effect and enable a visual border and shadow. In the visual border, we can select the color like this. So this is our division wise distribution of work. What we can do here, we can simply take use of a little bit of this space on the left hand side as well, so that we can bring three different visuals here. So now here you can see we every time, like for example in photography, we can see the sum of planned hours or total planned hours versus total worked hours. It is more. So almost in all the divisions you can see the planned hours and worked hours are more. Let's see if for any city it is different than this. So here also, here in Chicago city we can see this is almost the same, right? Almost the same in post production. In Los Angeles also the same. New York, interesting, in New York you can see here in photography the worked hours are more than planned hours. So this is how you can analyze that in which city we have to give some attention to it. So accordingly you can select the data. And here we don't want x-axis for now because the legend is sufficient and these names are also sufficient. So we can go here, let's select this, and in x-axis we can disable the values. So it will make the charts look properly visible. And in the chart we can go and simply enable data labels. So we will be able to see the data labels as well. So this is the division wise distribution of work. Now what we have done here is we have simply copied this and pasted 3 times so that we are going to visualize 3 different things here. Another important categorical field that we have to analyze here is obviously the job title, and we want to see job title wise over time, and some of planned hours and worked hours can also be seen, but we want to see job title wise over time hours. Okay, that is what we want to see here, and we can also include overtime amount. So let's say we are going to add overtime amount here first of all, overtime hours, which is firstly important, and here we have selected job title. Okay, like here we had division, so in x-axis we have selected the categorical column job title, and we will use a donut chart here so that we can see percentage wise, like on an average you can see editor is spending 24.79%, the sum of overtime for editors are this, sum of overtime for directors are this, and so on. So you can see overtime wise editors have more spent most number of time, and if you want to include the amount here, so you can also include that amount. So this is job title wise overtime. Okay, so we will simply write job title wise overtime, and the main thing that we are analyzing here is amount or hours, whatever you prefer. And similarly we can see for other also. Now we also want to see top 5 employees who have spent most worked hours. So top 5 employees by worked hours. First I will write this title here, and I will let you know how to find this top 5 employees by worked hours. So in order to find top 5 employees by worked hours, the first thing that we are going to select is, we will get rid of this, and let's select a line chart or area chart, just selecting it. And we have on x-axis we have uh, we will put the employee name here, although better chart will be this chart here, the division wise what we have selected the clustered column, that will be better. But let's see if we can get something with the help of area chart. On x-axis we will bring the employee ID or employee name, whatever you want to bring. So we will write employee name here, and on y-axis we are going to bring the total number of worked hours. Okay, here you can see we have different employee names. Let's zoom it a little bit. So you can see here we should have the different employee names like Thomas, Robert, etc. But since we disable the x-axis, it is not visible. Okay. So you can see here John, Thomas, etc. are there. And here there is one more thing. We want to see top 5. Okay. So in order to see top 5 of them, because there are so many employees, in order to see top 5 by sum of worked hours, what we have to do is we have to go to filter, and employee name is all, sum of worked hours is all. What we can do here, we can go and we can add a data field here, or we already have the employee name. So we will go here, instead of basic filtering we will do top n and write 5 here, and instead of by value we will add sum of worked hours and apply filter. So this way you will be able to see top 5 employees by worked hours. And now we can adjust our visualization. So for example on x-axis we can select different type of formatting options, like make the names bold. So you can see John, Thomas, Robert, Lisa, and Jennifer are these employees. You can select a clustered column or a simple column chart here as well. Now next thing that we can do here is, in lines we have shape, we can select a different type of shape. Type is linear. We can also select it as a step or smooth, whatever you prefer. Okay, let's select as a step. And here we have colors, so let's select a greenish kind of color here, just for uh, variety. So these are the top 5 employees by worked hours. Now, company has earned some money, right? This is amount earned, which is important thing for company. They had some allocated budget and they earned some amount. Let's say we want to see city-wise amount earned. So we want to see city-wise allocated budget and amount earned. Now all both of these values have the same, you know, we can say same variable or same unit. So we will use again a clustered column chart, or we can simply create a copy of this, and here we will have city name. Okay, instead of division here we will simply have city name here, and we will get rid of this and we will just add allocated budget and amount earned, so that you will be able to see in which city have we earned more amount. We have different columns. If you want to apply, like for example, for sum of allocated budget we want to select a different color, you can select that like this. And here what we can do one more thing, like uh, we for example we can also select a line and stack column chart here, and instead of putting the sum of amount earned on top of each other, we can also bring it on line axis. So this way we have division wise distribution of work and amount earned in different cities. And we will go here, and in x-axis we will enable values to actually see the name of values, see the name of cities here. Okay, so and this green line is showing sum of allocated budget, and this is showing sum of amount earned. And here you can see in Toronto, Los Angeles. Let's zoom in. So you can see in Los Angeles we have 7.2 million, the sum of amount earned. Okay, let's get back to it and try to display the colors in a different way. So here we have shape and we want to see the color actually. Yeah, so I will select this green color for it. Okay, and because we are facing some problem here, I'm just going to get rid of this and start it from scratch, so so that we can reset different type of colors. The thing we have to do is, let's say on x-axis we are going to put city name, column y-axis let's say we are going to put amount earned, and on line y-axis we are going to put the budget, allocated budget. So now this is perfect, and this is, we will now simply format the printer and apply. Okay, and we will simply write here, we will simply call it earning and budget by city, and somehow I don't know why I want to use the green color here. I'm liking the color. So here we have series, we have class. Let's use this. So this way we have amount earned by city. Now obviously we had city as a filter, but here we will see, for example, let's say in film production, you can see the best performing city is Toronto, and we can just go here and x-axis and enable this, right? And title is something we can disable. So now we have the chart here which we can analyze. So in Toronto, in film production this is higher, for photography Vancouver is higher, for post production Los Angeles, for sound department we can see uh, again Los Angeles. So this way you can see which city has better performance in which particular department. Next, we can also analyze which department has the highest hourly rate. So we will use a funnel chart here. First of all, I will apply some styling. In category, we will choose the division, and in values, we will select the hourly rate because all the employees we have there, and we will choose average so that we can see the average hourly rate by different division. And here we have colors. In color, I will apply a formula. So I will select the gradient value. In gradient value, I will say if color, if the value is lowest, select light shade of blue. If the value is highest, select darkest shade of blue that we have, and put a middle color somewhere as a green color. So this way we will have this color. This green is almost looking similar to previous colors. Okay, so this way you can see we can do it gradient wise, and this is average of hourly rate by division. Next, suppose we want to see gender wise and division or department wise hourly rate, or let's say any other metrics. So what we can do, we can simply make a copy of it so that the styling etc are already copied. We'll select the metrics chart here, and let's get rid of this and get rid of this. So in the metrics chart, what I'm going to do, let me show you one thing. Let's say I put gender here. So here we have more space in row. If I put division or city in column, you can see space is getting trimmed. So that's why I will simply swap them. So now we have values like this. So in film production, gender female and male. In values we can bring some values like, let's say, highest earners or hourly rate or whatever we want to bring. Let's say we also want to bring unworked unworked amount and unworked hours, something like that. So obviously I'm just giving you example with one of them. You can bring multiple and unworked amount and this. Obviously here you can see because of you know we have bring we have brought two columns here, so that's why it is taking too much space here. So let's keep it to one particular matrix, and whatever is your key matrix you can bring up, like amount earned or something. If that is the important thing for you, you can bring that. Okay, and here you can see the values, and we have different type of values, column, subtotal. These things are given. The important thing here is here in this type of chart we have cell elements. We can enable some background color, and it will automatically select the highest values and kind of you know give you color them. For example, this value is higher, so it will color it with higher shade. You can also enable data bars and disable this, so it will show you as a bar. So whatever value you want to show here, and from here you can go and increase or decrease the values according to your requirement. And we also have grid and header. So for example, I want to see one more thing here actually. Yeah, header. So in header we can increase the size, make them bold, select a type of color that we want to select. We can also enable or disable different type of backgrounds there. And here actually in this chart we have a lot of options, right? So you can explore them. Like if you want to show column subtotals, you don't want to show. Now the column subtotals disappeared. Okay. If you want to show row subtotals, disappear. So this is something that you can select accordingly. And you want to select a specific column, apply subtotal or not. This is something that you can select from here. And obviously icons you can enable, so you will see increase, decrease, etc. This type of icons are there. In icons also you can select, if that means if value is greater than equals to 0% and less than 33%, then we will show this icon. If value is greater than equal to 33 to 77, we will show this, and more than 67% green. So you can see a KPI kind of styling here. So these type of things can be done here. And for this entire chart, I will go and effect and select a very light background color so that we can select it. So I am just selecting city name here instead of division and showing that these values here. And obviously value and those things are you can select accordingly. But this is a simple chart which is representing city wise and gender wise the amount earned. Okay, and you can bring whatever key metric is important for you. So this is very important, and you can bring them here. This is a very simple demonstration of production wise analysis dashboard. So production wise working hours analysis dashboard. So with different type of chart, different type of filters, we learned how to create them. So if you want this data, if you want this dashboard Power BI file, so I have provided the link. There you can contact us asking for it. Otherwise, you can try it on your own. For dataset, I have already provided the link in the description. So thanks for watching this video. Have a nice day. See you soon in the next video.